liberation greetings to all and sundry, my dear people of Amazonia, my dear people of the Southern Cameroons, brave warriors of our liberation movement. Accept liberation greetings from me, Comrade John Akuro, this day. Today is the 20th of April 2025. Today is Easter Sunday, and you know that we've all been celebrating and marking the triumph of our Lord Jesus Christ, triumph over death, triumph over evil. My dear people of Amazonia, I want to take this special occasion, therefore, on this day, the special broadcast this day, this Easter Sunday, to extend hearty regards to all our people, wherever they may be. I want to particularly salute our brave hearts who are continuing to defy the odds, who are continuing to defy bookmakers, who are continuing to make nonsense of the claims of those who hate our freedom quest, to stay strong and to continue to push La République du Cameroun out of our land. I also want to take this occasion again, and I will never cease doing so, to hail our people, the civilian population of the Southern Cameroons, from Boya through Kumba, from Manyemen through Mamfe, through Widikum Batibo to Bamenda, to Kumbo, and of course, all over our land. I want to hail all of you for your continuous sense of sacrifice and our daredevil desire to ensure that we will succeed in our quest for freedom. My dear people of Amazonia, I've had occasion to say here that by the time we began the resistance, we knew that it was never going to be easy. We're all aware that this was never going to be a walk through the park. I like to say this. Sometimes we have expressed frustration. We have expressed disappointment. We have even expressed disgust at some in our midst for their activities, for the things that they are doing, and for the way they are behaving themselves at a time the people so badly need all hands on deck so we can secure a better future for ourselves, the people of the Southern Cameroons, for our children and for our children's children. I know that the caliber of people we generally looked up to, that these people in our midst, in our communities, are intellectuals. They have gone to school. They have learned the good knowledge. They have read the good books. They have read revolutionary history. They have read the history of fights for independence. These are people that are well equipped to lead our fight to freedom. But unfortunately, our people have come across as so frustrated at the actions of some of these so-called intellectuals. And that's why I'm sharing this thought. This thought by Noam Chomsky, who says the role of intellectuals is to challenge authority, not to serve it. The role of intellectuals is to challenge authority, not to serve it. When you hear this, when you take this in, you turn around and look at, in our community, the Southern Cameroons community, look at all of those who have gone to school to a certain level, who hold positions to a certain level. You ask yourself, are they really challenging authority? Ask yourself this question. Are they challenging authority? Are they challenging the colonial administration of La République du Cameroun for the atrocities they are visiting on our people? Are they challenging? Are they challenging the colonial administration of La République du Cameroun for subjugating our land and for transforming our people into subhumans? Are they? I'm sure that your answer has been just as good as mine, which is no, that they are all praise singers. You find all of them there, professor of this, PhD in that, masters of this, all of this, great thinker of nonsense. All they are doing is competing in singing praises for Paul Biya. All they are doing is competing in singing praises for the colonial administration, which is destroying the fabric of our communities. All they are doing is praising a system that is killing even their family members. Look at how desolate our land is today. They burned down over 400 villages. None of these so-called intellectuals have stood up. They even gave themselves another name, elite. They are all politicians today. All of them, politicians. Magistrates, university lecturers, directors of this, engineers, all of them. They are all kissing the ass of Mr. Paul Biya for crumbs, for bread and sardine. They have forgotten about their role in a community like ours. They have forgotten that when our forebears struggled to send them to school, to educate them, is because they expected that when they would grow up, that at a time like this, they will play the role that Noam Chomsky is talking about. That of challenging authority and not serving it. But unfortunately, that is where we are. Now, what are they using their knowledge, that knowledge acquired, in doing rather today? This is the subject matter of this conversation today. They are busy using that knowledge that they have acquired to do sophistry, to try and confuse our people, to try and tell our people that we, as a people in southern Cameroon, we don't have what it takes to be a free and independent country. They are using all that knowledge that they have acquired to distort facts, to even try and distort our history and tell the people of the southern Cameroons that we were never meant to be independent, that we were even part of La République du Cameroon, that there was even no need for us to have a union treaty because we're simply coming back. When they look at this picture behind me that you are seeing of the UN envoy in 2010 coming to Yaoundé, La République du Cameroon, to represent the Secretary General of the United Nations, and handing in these two maps to Paul Biya. One, the map of the southern Cameroons, the other, the map of La République du Cameroon, in total communication of the fact that these are two separate entities for the United Nations. Because what that tells you is that, oh, of course, the southern Cameroon has international boundaries that are recognized at the United Nations. That's why they have that map. A map is not just some kind of sketchy thing. No, it has bearings. The map of the southern Cameroon presented by the United Nations Secretary General's envoy to Paul Biya tells you, we know there is this entity and its boundaries are there, clear. And this is the map of La République du Cameroon without the southern Cameroons. Of course, La République du Cameroon acquired independence on the 1st of January 1960, and the southern Cameroons was set to acquire its own independence on the 1st of October 1961. When I come back here this Monday, that is tomorrow, April 21, we will talk about what happened on April 21, 1961 at the United Nations General Assembly. So my people of Ambazonia, I'm here today to remind each and every one of us that despite all the stupid talks we hear from these so-called intellectuals claiming that we don't have what it takes, we don't even have the population, we don't even have the resources, we don't have whatever to be an independent country, I want to prove to you that those that did it before us, some of them were not even up to us. I mean that some of them were not up to us. Some of them actually represented what we represent in La République du Cameroon today, and they got to where they got to. So that is why today I'm taking time off to drive us into territory that makes us understand that as a people of the southern Cameroons, we have everything it takes to be independent. The facts are on our side. International jurisprudence is on our side. Public international law is on our side. These are all the things that frighten La République du Cameroon to the point they will never ever accept to find themselves on a negotiation table at international level with an international mediator. Because they know when it gets to that, just on day one, they will be out of arguments. That is why we have to fight and fight and fight until La République du Cameroon find themselves in the position that Indonesia found itself in 2002. That they have to call the United Nations to say, please come and organize a referendum. And you see the parallel right ahead. Let's start with the biggest of all of them. South Sudan got their independence on July 9, 2011. But before that, because of the fighting that was going on between the Republic of Sudan and the people of South Sudan, in 2005, during an internationally mediated peace settlement, underline the words internationally mediated peace settlement, they came to what is called a comprehensive peace agreement. And it is that comprehensive peace agreement that officially ended the conflict and set a date for a referendum on South Sudan's self-determination in January 2011. By people of Ambazonia. That referendum was conducted in South Sudan, monitored by international partners, not by the government of the Republic of Sudan. And it was conducted for Southern Sudanese. The only people that voted were the people of the Southern Sudan. And of course, we know what the results were. The result was what? The people of the South Sudan voted overwhelmingly in January of 2011 for independence. And in July of that same year, 2011, they were officially independent. But there is something, the caveat that you see there. They never found themselves in some kind of rubbish called some grand national nonsense with Northern Sudan. They never found themselves holding some kind of stupid peace talks here and there, or the Southern Sudanese people didn't find themselves crying and begging for a referendum while South Sudan, while the Republic of Sudan still had its forces in their country. A referendum was determined at a comprehensive peace agreement. During the comprehensive peace agreement, referendum was one of the clauses. So, okay, this is how we will do. The people of South Sudan, they will be self-governing. They will have some kind of self-governing for a period of, because it was 2005, for a period of 5 years, that's culminated in January 2011. During this period, they will see this, the government of the Republic of Sudan will withdraw to their territory in Sudan. The people of South Sudan will be self-governing. They'll just have some kind of loose connection, and then this is to give the people the time to reflect, to think, to see if at all there could be a change of mind in the way of doing things. And so the referendum was set there for 5 years after. And during this period, this transitional period, of course, the United Nations was overseeing a lot of things in the Southern Sudan, literally even governing it. And when the referendum happened, it was only Southern Sudanese that voted. It was not organized by the government of Sudan. I say this in response to those who have been saying, oh, let's call for a referendum now. Call for a referendum now. It's the government of La République du Cameroon that will tell that everyone on our territory, that will tell that they will be the one to organize the referendum. You hear the citizens of La République du Cameroon tell you, like it happened in 1972, they fought. Everybody, including citizens of La République du Cameroon, have to vote. But take a minute. Look here. What was the population of South Sudan in 2011 when they got their independence? The population of South Sudan was 10.29 million. 10.2 million. The population of South Sudan was, so you say 10,290,000 something, they'll call it 10.3 million because we approximate those decimal points when it's as high as this. So the population of South Sudan was 10.3 million. What was the population of the Republic of Sudan? The population of the Republic of Sudan was 36.14 million. The population of Sudan was 36 million. 10 million Sudanese were able to squeeze the throat. 10 million Southern Sudanese were able to squeeze the throat of 36 million Sudanese to get back their country. What is the population of the Southern Cameroons as of now? You look at even the census organized by the Republic du Cameroon, they place it at about 4.5 million. The government of the Republic du Cameroon, they place our population at about 4.5 million. But they tell you we're about 20% of their population, which they claim is 30 million. Take 20%, it gives you 6 million. Give it to them, those figures. You and I know we're well over 8 million. We're only to 10 million. But this is the population that they give us. So consider when we are 6 out of 30 million. So we are 6 million and the Republic du Cameroon 24 million. They tell us that we don't have what it takes because the Republic du Cameroon is a giant. We don't have what it takes to outdo the Republic du Cameroon and get them out of our territory. But you just saw South Sudan, they were only 10.3 million. And the population of Sudan was 36 million, meaning combined together, this was about 46.4 million. It was about 46.3 something million. 46.3 something. But the South Sudanese were just 10.3. They did it. They were able to take back their country. Your intellectuals, the Southern Cameroons, tell you and I that, oh, you know, our population is so small, we're just so few. You can't get, I don't want to compare us with other countries that were normally independent at the time they had to be independent, like Equatorial Guinea, like Gabon, we're more than Gabon, like even Central African Republic, we're more than Central African Republic, like even like Chad, we're more than Chad. Of course, more than all of those countries, all of them. Take Gabon and Central African people and put together, their population is not up to that of the Southern Cameroons. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm looking at those who went before us. Those ones just got their independence then. But they say that we're too tiny to be seeking to be on our own. Now, let's get away from South Sudan. Let's go to the next country, which will be Eritrea. Look at the people of Eritrea got their independence in 1991. Of course, the Eritreans fought against Ethiopia for some good 30 years. I say for some good 30 years. By the time they got to the 10th year, they have not made the progress that we, the people of Ambazonia, have already made in 8 years. Of course, the intellectual class in Eritrea was also cooperating but with Ethiopia, with the government of Ethiopia. The intellectual class, they were body, soul, and sinker. The politicians, the so-called elite, were all with the government of Ethiopia. The level of corruption that existed then was unparalleled. It was the same like what you have with the Republic du Cameroon. The Republic du Cameroon bribed Eritreans like any influential Eritrean was bribed, like you could never imagine. And so there were too many sellouts, far too many. It did not discourage the common Eritreans. They continue to fight. La Republic du Cameroon is doing the same in our midst. They are bribing people in this liberation movement every day. And the reason, when they bribe them, they use that to try and discourage you and discourage me. To tell you and I, you see, those people that you're counting on, they have already collected their money. They are taking care of themselves. What about you? And those who are coming to tell you this are the same Southern Cameroon's intelligentsia that are supposed to, per Noam Chomsky, they are supposed to be what? Holding, challenging the authority with the truth, not serving it. But that is what they have been doing. Come and say, oh, you see, look at Nick Santos, who was saying, State House press secretary, up and down. Are you not seeing? He had collected his own money until. Did you not even see him going to receive Paul Biya in Washington? They'll say, "Oh, look at Funchak, who was parading military trucks on Facebook, on YouTube, making noise and shouting, oh, Ambazonia." Then look at him now, fighting for a certain thing he calls Southwest Kingdom and all of those things. And he has chopped his own money. And did you not see him going to receive Paul Biya? What are you thinking? You say, oh, look at this one. That one has collected his money. This one. See, where all of those activists were talking the other time. Most of them are gone. Maybe some of them have collected money. Maybe even all of them. What are you still doing? My people of Ambazonia, it happened before, but it never stopped. A determined people with the willpower to take back their country from doing so. That's why you see, as if with Eritreans it was terrible. For 30 years, but they stayed on. Now, what was the population of Eritrea at the time they got their independence? 1.92 million. Did you see that? The population of Eritrea at the time they got their independence was 1.92 million. Just say 2 million. It was 2 million. There were 2 million people only. 2 million people there. They fought for 30 years to take back their country, what they believed in. And by the time they got their independence, they were just 2 million. Just call it 2 million. But again, I said a while ago that Southern Cameroons, but the figures from La République du Cameroon itself were 6 million. But their figures. Now, what was the population of Ethiopia that the Eritreans were fighting to take their country away from? Look at this. The population of Ethiopia in 1991 was 49.72 million. Call it 50 million. So 2 million people were able to constrain 50 million people to vomit out their country for them. I said 2 million. 2 million people were able to constrain 50 million people to vomit their country out for them. And they resisted for 30 years. My dear people of Ambazonia, do we have what it takes to take back our country? Do we have what it takes to ensure we live a better future for our children and our children's children in Southern Cameroons? Do we have what it takes to get La République du Cameroun marching out of our land? Sure, your answer by now should be a loud yes, just like mine. My dear people of Ambazonia, the fundamentals of our liberation movement are very strong. The fundamentals of our liberation movement are very strong. So strong. I deliberately decided to keep this other piece of information to get right here before I say it, and then I continue. Because I wanted that as this broadcast started, as many more people are joining, hear me when I say it. You definitely heard that our brother, Comrade Abdul Karim Ali, had been handed a life jail, life imprisonment, by a kangaroo court of La République du Cameroun, and that was in absentia. And the reason is simple. Because Comrade Abdul Karim, like the narrative, refused to submit to a foreign jurisdiction. He made clear that he was not a citizen of La République du Cameroun and will not therefore be tried under the laws of La République du Cameroun. If you took him back to Bamenda, where he was captured and tried him there, Comrade Abdul Karim would have gone to court. This is what I call resiliency. This is what I call determination. This is what I call focus. These are clear examples for us all to see. Comrade Abdul Karim has also been listening to those lost so-called intellectuals, trying also to brainwash him like they've been trying to brainwash you and I, and urging us to collaborate with an occupational military, claiming that there is no day we will ever achieve this independence. They told Eritreans the same thing. They told Southern Sudanese the same thing, but they told them a lie. Because today, they are absolutely independent. So Comrade Abdul Karim Ali has joined Comrade Sisiku Ayub Tabe, Comrade Wilfred Tassan, Comrade Eyambe Elias Ebai. They have joined all of these ones, Comrade Che Fidelis. They have joined Pam4 Ngalam4. They have joined Barrister Shufai Bless Service. They have joined, in fact, all of them. I'm not going to call everybody's name. They have joined all of these people to receive life jail because they have refused to bow to a foreign jurisdiction. They are in jail. They are in confinement, in horrible conditions that their will could easily be broken, but their wills have not been broken. You and I are free. All I've asked you, run quickly, make a contribution. You can see the portal, you can see the link where to contribute there. Fund your freedom. Use Zelle paper, go to amberrelief2018@gmail.com. Assist us so we assist the civilian foot soldiers who are moving all over the territory to help in their own way to make this freedom happen. But above all, you must renew your commitment to this liberation movement. Let's leave Comrade Abdul Karim Ali alone. We will come back to him later. Now let's move to the third country in the line of those I was talking to. And now that's the Bamba Bay of all, that is East Timor. Here we are in East Timor. Of course, as you can see there, East Timor's independence formally occurred on 20th of May 2002. You know, the people had fought Indonesia for a long time. Until in 2002, that was somewhere in 2000, I think it was around 2001, the president of Indonesia was tired of fighting. But most especially, the president of Indonesia was deceived by the so-called elite, like those of the Southern Cameroons. They are deceiving the Republic du Cameroon. They deceived the president of Indonesia and the government of Indonesia to believe that they were in control of the land, control of the people, and that the people were agitating for independence were just a little bunch of misguided idiots, of misguided lunatics, disturbing the peace, and that they were convinced that the people were with them. The same language you hear from the lost souls like Atanganji, Fu Jonathan, Callistus Fu Gentry, Fotabe Tando, John Gute Joseph, who spent his time trying to bribe people in the liberation movement and thinking that he can bribe everybody out of this struggle, when he himself does not even have a place to sit there and participate in the governance of the country where he claims he is prime minister, head of government of. All of them, all they do, the men gods, all of them, all they do, the Benamokis, the Peter Mafani Musonges, all they do is deceive people. We are in control. No, we are in control. That is what the elite of East Timor did. And so they convinced the president of Indonesia to believe them. And so, buoyed by this, he said no. The East Timorians were giving my people a lot of trouble. East Timorians said, giving Indonesia a lot of trouble. A giant, so much trouble. Said, no, United Nations, please, come and organize. Call the Secretary General of the United Nations, Kofi Annan of Blessed Memory. Come and organize a referendum in East Timor. And let's see how the things will go. Of course, that referendum was organized in East Timor by the United Nations for East Timorians. And only East Timorians voted. Listen well. Only East Timorians voted. Indonesians did not have to vote, because this was the future of East Timor at stake. The future of East Timor being discussed. Not the fraud that happened in 1972. That the Republic of Cameroon said they wanted to change the form of state that protected the minority Southern Cameroon in a fake union that never even existed. And they brought all the citizens of the Republic of Cameroon to draft those of the Southern Cameroons. The same trash that some of them are uttering today. That yes, there should be a referendum where everybody, including the citizens of the Republic du Cameroon, will vote to determine the future of the people of the Southern Cameroons. Now, what was the population of East Timor at the time this referendum happened, at the time they got their independence? There you go. This is the population of East Timor, known today more as Timor-Leste. Look at the population of East Timor. 879,159 people in 2002. That was the population of East Timor. 879,159 people in 2002. These are the number of people that made life impossible for Indonesia, my people of Ambazonia. How many of us did La République du Cameroun say we are? I want to go by their figures. They say we are 20% of their 30 million population. 20%? Okay. 20% of 30 million. We were 6 million. But these are East Timorians. They were less than 1 million. They were less than 900,000. There were 879,000 of them. Call them 880,000 of them. Who for many years made it impossible for Indonesians to breathe until they vomited them. And what was the population of Indonesia in 2002? Hey, please don't think you are dreaming. Clean your eyes. Clean your eyes well. And look again carefully. You will see, just as I'm saying. You will see that you are not dreaming. 222.1 million. I said 222.1 million. The population of Indonesia in 2002. Less than 1 million Indonesians, oh no, less than 1 million East Timorians did not fear this might. They fought for their freedom. They fought for what they believed in. They fought for a better life. Yes, my people, they fought. They fought. The population of Indonesia today is 283.5 million per the 2024 estimate. 283.5 million. But the population of Indonesia, as I showed you, in 2002 was only 879,000, call it 880,000. The elite of Indonesia did everything. They told them, the so-called intellectuals, they told them, oh, you are nothing. We are just like a drop of water in a tea. At least all they say we are 2 cubes of sugar. For them, they were not even up to a cube of sugar in the sea. 880,000 East Timorians. They made life impossible for 222.1 million Indonesians until they vomited them out into their freedom. My dear people of Amazon, the fundamentals of our liberation movement are strong, and we have all that it takes to be a free people. The only thing, like I said, you want to question people a lot, don't question them. I'll pray like as Baruch Spinoza says, that I have sedulously endeavored, I have tried sedulously not to laugh at the acts of man, not to lament them, not to detest them, but to understand them. Those so-called Southern Cameroon's intellectuals, those so-called elite, they are blinded by their greed for power, their greed for vain power, their greed for influence, and their greed for illicit money. That is why they cannot see what you and I see. That is why they cannot believe in the freedom that you and I believe in. This is why I say we must stay strong. We must fight and fight and fight until we secure the freedom of our homeland. I have the happy these past days of ending with this gentle lady reminding us, tuning the war cry, how we need to fight as a people for what we believe in. Let's close with her.
On your feet. Pick up your weapons. We to battle with warriors. I came with great men. I came with champions. I came with men who are saviors, protectors of their clan. I came with great and real men. What I see here are weaklings, banana stems. What is it? You're tired? You wish to go home? Go home to your wives and children who are eagerly waiting to hear the good news that we won this war, and tell them, like weaklings, we lost the war. No! No. Because I am the leader of this war, I say this war is not over until we win. I would rather die in battle than die on my knees begging another man for my inheritance. We fight for our people. We fight for our rights. We fight for freedom. And I say we battle. I say we battle till we die. I say we battle till we win. I say this war is not over until we win. Warriors, on your feet. Pick up your weapons.
That is the way to go. We fight, we battle, we stay strong, we stay resilient, we stay determined until we win. That is the only way we will take back homeland. My people, I want to thank all of you who took time off on this Easter Sunday to be part of this broadcast. Do not miss my broadcast of this Monday, April 21, 2025. It will be exactly 8 p.m. Amber time when I'll be on the set. Thank you once more for your kind attention, and to God be all the glory.